You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender, Rick Blitzer, Nation of Patriots. Welcome.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's a number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Good morning, Victor, or Tony Jean, whoever is watching us. Glad to have you with us. If you are watching or listening to us on any of our socials, put in a note there. Tell us who you are. Say hello, where you're checking in from. Love to hear from you. What are we going to celebrate today? We always like to celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio. I feel like we've celebrated this before, though. It's National Dark Chocolate Day. Just for consistency, I still am not a fan of dark chocolate. A little bit if you've got a glass of port wine, 70% chocolate, then it's good. I guess any kind of a heavy red wine it's good for. Let's see what else we've got going on. Baked Alaska Day. Ooh. Now, that one I can get behind. I've beaten anorexia. Baked Alaska, that'll do it. Now, there's not a whole lot of places I see it here in Southern California. But when I go out to Josh's hometown, they've got it out there. Baked Alaska. You used to be able to go to some of the nicer restaurants. They would bring it out. Wasn't it Baked Alaska that they brought out flaming?
Yep.
I thought it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. First Thursday in February is National Get Up Day? Don't we like to do that every day? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. My wife's out of town for a funeral right now, and I think I'm kind of partial to, hey, let's get up every day. I'm just going to throw that there. Let's see what the market's doing today after a very, very difficult day yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 214 points today. That's nice. S&P 500 is up 39. The NASDAQ is up 126. Oil is up 76 cents a barrel. Ooh. Okay, and let's see. The 10-year Treasury. Wow, it's down nice. Down 7 points. Seniors, I'm sorry. That's those of us that are looking at buying houses. Okay, the 10-year Treasury is a leading indicator for mortgage-backed securities, which is what drives the mortgage rates. But our seniors, a lot of them are living on fixed income. And when you've got a 10-year Treasury that's paying 3.85%, well, at least inflation's down a little bit, so that helps a little. But gas prices, do we even want to look at gas prices? Yes, I still am. I can't picture the reason that I would have to buy an electric car. I'm still, fossil fuels. Maybe it's because my kids refer to me as a fossil, but that's a different story. Okay, gas prices here in the formerly Golden State, $4.56 a gallon. National average, $3.15. Let's take a look at what the gas prices are in America. Josh, you're at $3.83 there in Nevada.
Yep.
That's the statewide average. Probably paying, a half a dollar less than that right now if you want to really get gas. That's about what it is here, too. How about, when you're in the cities, it's about a half a dollar cheaper. And our loan assistant, $2.76 a gallon. She's in America also. Maybe those of you that are thinking that Joe Biden may not run and that Gavin Newsom is an alternative, take a look at our gas prices. Is that what you want around the country? Just throw that out there, because the national average right now is $3.15 a gallon, and again $4.56 in the formerly Golden State. At least we're below Hawaii. They make a lot of gas, so I guess they refine a lot of gas in Hawaii. Well, maybe not. $4.68 in Hawaii, and we used to have to compete with Washington. They're at $3.94. So everybody's cheaper than we are in the formerly Golden State. But let's get back and talk more about the markets. What's going on in the markets? Well, as I told you yesterday, the markets were going to be all about Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve statement. So let's recap. And there was a great article on Bloomberg talking about Jerome Powell and the statement. The market did not like, the stock market did not like what Jerome Powell had to say. But that's the stock market. The bond market liked what Jerome Powell had to say. Why? What's the difference? Now, historically, the bond market and the stock market go in opposite directions. More recently, they've been going sometimes in the same direction. But let's take a look and see what it is. So Jerome Powell really contradicted the things that he said in December, but that's his job. His job is to try and make sure that we've got full employment or maximize employment and stable prices. Now, the media has gone and done after Janet Yellen back in the 80s was able to leak some information. And the idea then was basically that, how do you define stable prices? Well, it's 2% PCE, 2% inflation. Okay. Well, what we found out is last month, Jerome Powell said that we were doing really well on inflation and keeping that in check, and we've got a strong job market. Market took that and they did their dot plot, which basically tells us what the Federal Reserve members are thinking and projecting for rate cuts. And it was very favorable to interest rates. They call that dovish. Well, the opposite of dovish and unfavorable to interest rates is called hawkish. Well, yesterday, Jerome Powell, anywhere he could, came out with hawkish statements. He came out and he told us that we're doing better on inflation, but we still need to watch the data. And then later he says, well, the 6-month run rate is below their 2% target. That should have been exciting for the market. He told us that we're still doing well on the employment front. That should have been good for the market. But then he goes on to say he needs more information and they probably will not cut rates at their next meeting in March. The stock market didn't like that and dropped about 2%. So that was kind of the impetus of it. But we saw the mortgage-backed securities yesterday was up nicely. And now we're seeing today a follow-through. The mortgage-backed securities are up again today. Now, remember, I've told you this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Did I say that I've told you this over again? That the idea here is that when the bond goes up, the mortgage-backed security bond goes up, rates go down. So as we continue watching this, the rates are dropping on mortgage rates. Do I think they're going to drop more? Yes, they will drop more. So don't get too excited. Don't get that, as Alan Greenspan put it, irrational exuberance. We'll talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Don't wait until spring to sell your house. We'll talk about it. Able accounts offer tax benefits and more to people with disabilities. Nation of Patriots, 15 years. We'll talk about that. We might even have some pictures if we can get those up as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. Good to see you, Dave. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. Yeah, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you get ready for that next home, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Yes, they are the one with the Home Select program, rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. And yes, I did another one just the other day where we ran the scenario. 2.25% effective APR on a 30-year loan. 2.25% effective rate, 30-year loan. If you want more information at rsrhomeselect.com. And every day at this time, OBMOI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated. No, they don't tell us APR, points paid, or points received. It's calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. And I love it because everything on the screen is red. They're all down except, well, FHA stayed the same. Conforming loans, 6.528, down a bit. 30-year jumbo, 6.973, down. 30-year FHA, even, 6.37. 30-year USDA, 6.36. That was down. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, you cannot just apply for this one. 30-year VA loan, 6.091. And yes, we are the number one lending team in America for Homes for Heroes. Love our heroes. So if you're a veteran, first responder, educator, we've got discounts for you in all areas. And if you want our commentary on mortgage rates and what's going on in the mortgage market, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. We get that out each business day morning as early as the data allows, and it's free to you. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The S&P 500 is up 36.3 right now. We have a lot of news at the end of the day today, so that'll be fascinating. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury down 11 basis points. That's a huge drop down on the 10-year Treasury. Mortgage-backed securities are now up 19 basis points. Let's talk about why that's happening, what's driving that. And we always look at these things because all the numbers, you get that at the super secret website. That's google.com. So the Fed meeting recap. Fed concluded their two-day meeting, releasing their statement following by a Jerome Powell press conference. Fed kept rates unchanged. We told you they'd do that. They said that they believe they have reached their peak Fed fund rate. Their statement had a few changes. They acknowledged the better than expected GDP report, saying that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace, and a change from saying growth has slowed from Q3 in their December statement. They also said that risks to achieving its employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance, but they don't expect to cut rates until they are more confident that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. Powell did acknowledge in his press conference that the last 6 months of inflation data is exactly what they want to see. They just want to see more. Market was higher after the statement, but things got choppy after Powell spoke and said that based on the meeting today, he does not think it's likely that the committee will reach a level of confidence by the March 20th meeting to cut rates. Bonds started to give back much of their gains after this comment, but were able to end the day near their highs. Powell did not say much on the balance sheet, except that they would start discussing it seriously at the March meeting. Now, you have to understand history here. The Federal Reserve does not like to get involved in politics, yet they said they plan on cutting rates 3 to 4 times in the current year. How do we square that if they didn't do it yesterday? There's 8 meetings every year. They didn't cut yesterday. They're not planning on cutting in March. Well, that means there's only 6 more meetings, and they said 3 or 4 times it's going to be political. It's the only way it can be. Initial jobless claims measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time rose 9,000 to 224,000. With the holiday adjustments behind us, this figure has been rising the last 2 weeks. Continuing claims, or those that continue to receive benefits after their initial claim, rose 70,000 to 1.898 million. Big rise, and another sign that once you're laid off, it's becoming much harder to get a job. Jobs report is coming out tomorrow, and there is one other story that I think I got to find here because I'm not seeing it real simply. Is where do we have that number? The Challenger job cut report counts layoffs based on mass layoff data from state departments of labor, showed that there were 82,000 layoffs in January, considerably more cuts in the previous months, 34,000. It's almost 50,000 more. Highest January total since January of 2009. We'll watch it for you. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Well, we always like to talk to organizations that represent some of the best America has to offer. And we've got Rick Blitzer with us, Nation of Patriots, celebrating an anniversary.
You betcha.
So talk about this. 15 years, huh?
15 years. Our founder, who I hope will join us here shortly, actually started this because he saw his friends coming home wounded, hurt, both physically and mentally, families starting to suffer, money needs not being met. And he decided to do something about it. And he started going on his motorcycle, soliciting funds, which he gave directly to the veterans. I think what's interesting is this is truly a grassroots operation that started in the kitchen of this man's home.
Wow.
He's a young man. He is not a veteran. And the amazing thing is,
That doesn't preclude us from helping veterans.
absolutely not.
Because I'm one of them, because I'm not a veteran, and I
No.
love doing everything we can to help the
No,
veterans.
absolutely not. And I think the thing that people don't realize is whether you protest or you don't, whether you agree with the government or not, you have the right to do that because of the folks that are out there putting their lives on the line to protect our society.
You know, it's interesting that you put it that way, Rick, because I've had some of the Patriot Guard riders on, or Patriot Rider Guards. I don't remember which way they say it, but they're the ones that go out there and stand right between protesters and some of the fallen.
Yes, I've been there.
And, you know, when I've talked to them about their organization, they've all said the same as what you just said, that they have gone to war or volunteered to go to war for the right of those people to be idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, they don't agree with those people, what those people are doing or their mission, but they have the right because of what these veterans have done.
Well, and the other thing, I'm going to throw this out. I don't know if it's so much the protection of the folks at the event or protection of the folks that are protesting, because some of these veterans you don't want to screw with.
Right.
These guys are some tough people who've been through some tough times, especially my generation Vietnam vets. I'm sorry.
Well, you get the protesters who are usually the pansies, I guess, in many instances. I'll say it. I don't mind.
Okay.
And, you know, you've got people like yourself who are trained to do things that none of the rest of us want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
And it never goes away.
Right.
I laugh because I see people who want to taunt older veterans.
That's not a smart thing to do.
I watched my dad. He was 55 or 60. We were in a restaurant in downtown San Diego, probably not the best part of town. And some guy tried to muscle him in the bathroom. And we heard this thump crash. We came around the corner and there's this guy laid out on the floor. And I looked at him and I just went, and the owner was really cool. He says, "Don't worry about it. This guy's always been a problem. Your dad handled it, obviously. See ya." I didn't know that my dad had that in him.
Sure. Well, you know something, I had an uncle who's since passed, and it was the same thing. Is, you know, even in his 70s and 80s, you know, unfortunately, he still had some of the memories of things that took place and whatnot. So, you know, don't mess with people that have been trained, right? I mean,
you never forget.
We're gonna have a young lady, young by my standards, coming on the broadcast in a couple of weeks, and she's a world champion fighter, right? And I forget which wasn't mixed martial arts, but one of the fights. Don't mess with her.
Yeah,
right.
No.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She can, and you know, I'm smart enough to realize that, you know, she can hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the funny part is people take on folks like that having no idea what their background is.
Right. Oh, she's a model as well. So, you know, you look at her and say, you know, just a cute model. That's lethal.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
exactly.
Be careful.
Exactly.
So 15 years. Tell us a little bit about the organization. What does the organization do?
Well, we raise money for the families of disabled and wounded veterans. And when you're a disabled vet or disabled anything, but especially a disabled vet, they get money from the VA or retirement. But the reality of it is that is not in par with what today costs. And suddenly you run into certain crises like medical. How about tuition for your kids or books? Those are things that just aren't in the budget for some of these folks. And by the way, some of their disability makes it hard for them to find employment. So we step in and assist them maintain a normal life. And that's really what we're here for. We've paid medical, we've paid dental, we've paid tuitions, we've paid to get cars fixed because they couldn't get to work.
Wow. Well, you know, so when we come back, I want to chat with you a little bit about that, because we did have somebody on, in the last, that must have been last week, something like that, who actually might have a job for every one of those veterans that you're talking about. You can reach me anytime. We're going to continue our conversation with Rick Blitzer, Nation of Patriots. Don't wait until spring to sell your house. Able accounts offer tax benefits and more to people with disabilities and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Again, if you're watching us, listening to us anywhere near a keyboard, check in. Tell us who you are, say hello, and where you're checking in from. Love to say hello to those that are watching. It also helps out with the algorithms on all of the different social channels. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Don't wait until spring to sell your house. As you think about the year ahead, one of your big goals may be moving. But how do you know when to make your move? While spring is usually the peak home buying season, you don't actually need to wait until spring to sell. Here's why. Number one, take advantage of lower mortgage rates. Last October, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage peaked at 7.79%. In January, they hit their lowest level since May. That means you may not feel as locked in to your current mortgage rate right now. That downward trend in rates has made moving more affordable now than it was just a few months ago. Another reason today's rates make now a good time to sell. More buyers are jumping back into the market. Many had been waiting on the sidelines for rates to fall, but now that's happening. They're eager and ready to buy. That means more demand for your house, according to Sam Cotter, chief economist at Freddie Mac. Quote, given the stabilization in rates, Potential home buyers with affordability concerns have jumped off the fence back into the market, unquote. Darn, that hurts when you're sitting on the fence. Number 2, get ahead of your competition. Right now, there are still more people looking to buy a home than there are houses for sale, which puts you in a great position. But keep in mind, with the recent uptick in new listings, we're seeing more sellers may already be re-entering the market. Listing your house now helps you beat your competition and make sure your house will stand out. And if you work with an agent to price it right, it could sell fast, get multiple offers. U.S. News explains, quote, when there is low housing inventory, sellers could get top dollar for their homes, unquote. Number 3, make the most of rising home prices. Experts forecast home prices will keep going up this year. What does that mean for you? If you're ready to sell your current house and plan to buy another one, it may be a good idea to think about moving now before prices go up more. That would give you the chance to buy your next home before it gets more expensive. Number 4, leverage your equity. We talked about that a lot yesterday. Homeowners today have tremendous amounts of equity. In fact, a recent report from CoreLogic says the average homeowner with a mortgage has more than $300,000 worth of equity. Want to know how much you have? rsrhomeequity.com, rsrhomeequity.com. And you can get that number right there, rsrhomeequity.com. Bottom line, if you're thinking about selling your house and moving to another one, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. Rick Blitzer, Nation of Patriots, is with us, chatting about their organization, some of the great things that they're doing to help some of our favorite people. And the ones, especially for somebody like me. Now, you may or may not agree with this, but when you think about it, I do a conservative radio show in an ultra-liberal state. And if it wasn't for the men and women of our military and our veterans, could you imagine trying to do that and doing what I do in China or Russia? Wouldn't have a problem because they don't understand my language, but it's because of the men and women of the military that we get to do what we do. We have the freedoms that we have. And we have judges and some others that are idiots. Did you see what they've done with some of the politicians in New York City? I mean, where these thugs beat up the police officers and they're let out of jail before the police officers get out of the hospital. Unbelievable. But I digress. Let's chat about Nation of Patriots. And Josh, you have some pictures. Why don't you scroll pictures while we're talking with Rick? And we've got a bunch of shots here that Rick sent over to us. So you raise what is the methodology that you use for raising money for medical tuition, fixing cars?
Well, believe it or not, we have a Patriot Tour, which travels all 50 states on motorcycle, and we escort a flag. There's 4 purposes. Number 1, to raise money. We ask for $5 a rider per stop. That's it, $5.
Nice.
But when you figure that's a couple thousand people, probably pushing close to 5 figures that join in, that's quite a bit of money.
Sure.
Okay. Then you take on the fact that you have a lot of our places do fundraisers. We are supported by the American Legion, VFW. The Elks Lodges are huge.
Wow.
And Harley dealerships.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's also groups like the Patriots in Maine, the Patriots in Nevada that also support us. And they're there to help and provide expertise on the motorcycles. That's how we raise money. People get involved and they're very generous when they hear what it's for. And they hear that we are 100% volunteer. And our efforts are 100% of the donations we receive go directly to the families in need that we service.
That's wonderful. Well, and you've come out here to be on the broadcast with me a couple times.
Yeah.
You travel from Las Vegas to our studios here in Orange County, and we appreciate it. We don't pay anybody for those to come out here, and it's expensive. But we appreciate you coming out, and it's really nice looking at some of these pictures that are going across the screen. So when you get the riders, and you've got Now, is it people that are joining in and dropping off at various times?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not 2,000
No.
bikes that are going across the country
No.
all to get one time.
We have 117 stops throughout all 50 states.
Okay.
And at those stops, we have a flag bearer, and the flag is transferred to a representative from that stop, who then takes it to the next stop. With that, there's a little bit of a ceremony. It's pretty it's formal, especially for somebody on a motorcycle. But it's it states the honor and the responsibility of that flag, because people have forgotten what the flag stands for. It stands for all of us.
Right.
Left, right, middle, upside down. I don't care. It stands for all of us. And
even idiots like Colin Kaepernick.
What's
That's
that?
my opinion.
What's that?
I said even idiots like Colin Kaepernick. But that's just my opinion. Not putting words in your mouth, Rick.
No, I heard that. Anyway, bottom line to it is, so respect for the flag.
Sure.
Raise money for the veterans. Share a little family patriotic time. Now we also have fun, but at the same time,
We should have fun.
Yeah, we talk about the challenges and we educate the folks about what our folks are faced with. And it's a wonderful program. What's really interesting, we are in all 50 states and we have volunteers in all states. Nobody asks for a dime.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, something, and some of the things that you're doing out there and helping folks, you look at, there's so many different organizations, and I'm a big believer in a charity navigator. And there is, you can go out and make sure that the charities that you're wanting to align with, that they follow through on their missions. When you talk about 100% donation, I mean, that's about, you can't get any better than that.
No,
right?
It's something that our founder, when you look at his first ride and the lessons he learned, our traditional foundation is based on the lessons he learned and experienced while that first ride.
Yeah, that's great stuff right there. One of the things I do want to make a comment about, though, because I've had some folks talk to me that they look at some organizations where the leadership makes a lot of money. And again, I'm going to throw out there, go to Charity Navigator and see, because if you're an organization, and the one that comes to mind I just heard the other day was Wounded Warriors, and somebody made a comment that the leadership makes like $900,000 a year. How many millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars are they raising, right? And you're not going to get that done on a full-time basis from somebody that's exceptional. They've got to make money too. They've got to feed their family as well. So if they stay under the requirements of a great number from Charity Navigator, then something, by all means, there's a lot of need out there. There's a lot of veterans out there, and you look at all these different organizations. The more, the merrier.
Oh,
right?
Here's the thing: if you're a charity organization and you're taking money out to do other things, how much do you really give to the other veterans? We hold the Platinum Award with Charity Navigator.
See that? There you go.
And they approached us. I think they show us doing 3% administrative costs, which may be true, may not be. I'm not sure. But I can tell you that I look these things up.
Sure.
And the only reason why I do this charitable work is because it's a true charity in the spirit.
From the heart.
In the spirit. Yeah. They don't reach into their wallets. They reach into their heart when they donate to us.
Yeah. When you think about it, I mean, if you're going across country on a Harley Davidson, it might be fun, but you've got a mission in mind. And, the people that are learning that are you got to get the message out to people also. So there's going to be some cost no matter what you do, right? How is the person that needs medical assistance going to find out about you?
That's our number one challenge.
People finding out about you.
Yep.
Okay. So, and there you have it. So you need to make sure and continue sharing the mission, and you've got a bigger problem from what I've seen, is that you've got veterans, and veterans are notorious for never asking for help.
You're right.
They'll help their brother, their sister, but boy, I'm not the one that needs help. It's Rick that needs help. right? So you got to get that message out to somebody who can bring the next guy along.
I think probably one of the best stories, especially, and it happened here in California.
Wait a second. Hold that story. We're going to get to the best story when we come back. Otherwise, Josh is going to shoot me. You can reach me anytime off air number 8. Well, maybe not necessarily, not literally. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Through the magic of before we get into that, before we get into the magic of technology, and a message to Josh while I'm doing this other part right here, trying to pay some bills. Looks like we've got Bill Shearer in the background. Maybe we'll be able to bring him up after
Very
I
cool.
do the Borrow Smart Tout. It's brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. Borrow Smart brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. If you are trying to get to a debt-free point in your life, rsrdebtfree.com. It is a new site that we just set up. It'll help. We will look into the potential of a debt consolidation loan. If that doesn't work, we've got Chris Corrales in the bullpen waiting to help you get rid of some of those other debts, and we can get even more aggressive than that if we have to. That is the Borrow Smart segment, rsrdebtfree.com. Let's see if we can bring in Bill Shearer. founder. He's a boss man.
Founder. He's the man. This is an amazing, to me, young man.
Okay.
He's married, 2 very nice wife, 2 kids. Just a great guy, and he's the one that started all this.
Bill, can you hear us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Magic of technology. Glad to have you with us. So
Seamless
you're
transition.
the visionary of Nation of Patriots.
Some say that, yeah. I credit to a lot of people, not just me.
So tell us what got I had a Marine come on my show one time, and he told me the story of of a little girl actually that smacked him in the head, not literally but figuratively, and started an organization called Solutions for Change. Tell us the story of how'd you come up with this idea? What was the impetus?
A really long story short. Back in 2006, 2007, I had a lot of friends who were in the service, some very close to me. Many went overseas, dropped out of college, went overseas to where the wars over there were really raging. My life as a citizen of the United States went on. I went through college, did my thing, graduated, and I saw a lot of these guys come back. They came back different people from when I had last seen them. And through stories heard from them about them, their lives, and their friends who also served, I realized that there was a whole community out there that did a whole lot of things more for this country than I ever had and probably ever would have. To see their pain, their sacrifice, and then to hear of others that were suffering even more after what they did. I don't know. It really resonated with me. I remember sitting down wondering if I should join the service. What should I do with my life? And I decided at that point with my girlfriend, who's my wife now, that I would begin with starting a nonprofit, and we would just go out and raise money to try to help these people. And those people were families. The stories that we kept hearing were that it was the veteran in the family who was the breadwinner at one point, came home, was injured somehow mentally, physically, could not work, and their spouse was the one who was either trying to float a job, 2 jobs, and also take care of the veteran who was at home not able to work. And they were falling through the cracks. I mean, the lines at the VA hospitals were too long. There was too much red tape, and these people were ending up on the street. And to be honest with you, it pissed me off, and that was enough to get me out of my chair to do something. And so we started a nonprofit, called it the Nation of Patriots, and we decided to go out, and instead of doing bake sales and little things locally, we wanted to go big, and we designed this thing called the Patriot Tour. And fast forward 15 years, and here we are.
Wow. It's amazing when you think about the people of America. There's, and it's unfortunate that people like yourself don't get more publicity. We get the idiots that make the news, that, the illegals that come in and mess with the police officers and the protesters for whatever. And those, that you get that coverage all day in the news. And somebody like yourself who stood up and said, something, I'm a citizen and I can make a difference. And every one of us, can you imagine if we had 300 million people like Bill that are out there, just going out there and just want to make a difference, in a positive way. There's some that want to make a difference in a negative way, but in a positive way. And, it's wonderful having somebody like yourself, and your wife that just want to make that change and just take action. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, for sure, it would be an awesome place. It'd be a better world, but it's not the reality, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of late nights, as Rick can attest to. It's tough. It's a thing of passion. Well, I think that's why we called it the Nation of Patriots, though. One of the coolest parts of my job as the CEO/founder is that I get to see many, many, many more hundreds of people, as you said, just like myself, Rick being one of them. I'm surrounded by a team of Ricks. And, there's so many people out there like us that don't get the publicity, but we get to see them. And I think that's what gives me so much so much hope and belief in the United States as itself. There's strength out there. It's just unfortunately isn't in the news cycle, but it's there. I can tell you that right now. It's there.
Interesting. I want to get before. Don't go away, Bill. I don't want us to miss the best story ever that Rick started to tell us in the last segment before I cut him off.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, Rick.
Real quick, we had we just started really picking up speed in California, and we had a veteran whose sister was in a hospital bed, potentially dying. And he could not afford to go in from Marietta every day to stay there. Well, we worked with the hospital, and I actually have a picture of us bedside with the sister and the veteran. Otherwise, he may not have been with her during her toughest time. A little unusual because it's nothing tangible for the family, but it gave that veteran the emotional support and the wherewithal to deal with a family crisis that he normally would not be able to assist with. That was huge to me. And I met him, shook his hand. He invited us to take the picture, which just
gives you chills.
Yeah, it really does. And there's tons of stories like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's some of the best things that we see with some of these organizations. I'm thrilled that I'm allowed to have the opportunity of having folks like yourself come on and share some of these things, because there are so many great people out there that are doing things. And Bill, you're right. I guess that's probably the compensation that you get is, being able to meet all the people that are taking that time and putting forth that effort. And when you think about it, I mean, you'll think that Rick just shared $5 a person.
$5 a person. That's what we ask. Now, there's many people who reach in and will hand us a 10, a 20, a 50. We've had hundreds, because that's how much they love this country and they want to take care of our veterans.
Bill, how can somebody help if they're listening to us right now? How can they help?
Oh, in so many ways. I'm sure you guys discussed it already, but we are all volunteer force. Nobody gets a paycheck here. So we take help of all kinds. If you want to donate, 100% of your donation goes straight to the cause, and you can do that online, www.nationofpatriots.org. You can either donate online. We have address where you can go deposit a check. So we make the experience as easy as possible, of course. But we need people. We run an operation of about 200 plus volunteers. A good friend of mine and one of the board of directors here at the Nation of Patriots calls it herding cats in a thunderstorm. We make it work, but we could always use more help. There's so many things that we can do, or things that we want to do that we just can't get to because we just don't have enough bodies.
So it's nationofpatriots.org is where we can go and make sure you help out. I mean, it's again, I kind of feel like a honk sometimes on organizations, but I don't care. It's my show. I get to do that kind of stuff. Is just asking, and it doesn't, to me, as long as you're helping somebody, that's the beauty of it, is give back a little, give something to the next person. And Nation of Patriots looks to me like a great organization. If you're platinum on Charity Navigator, that says that people smarter than me have done some due diligence. Donate money, buy the merchandise, go on I'm not a motorcycle rider, but go on the ride. And
you can be.
You don't have to be.
You can be in a car. We've even had a bicycle.
Yeah.
If I can't get on a motorcycle, you're not going to get me on a bicycle either. I'm just throwing that out there for you. But we're going to have all the information at ronsiegelradio.com. If you miss any part of the broadcast, we're going to have all of that there. And we've also, one of the nice things about what we do here is we're able to put business and organization together. And if you are one of the people that have been served by Nation of Patriots and you're needing a job, we just had somebody on last week that has a need to train about 1 million people. So
wow.
Maybe some of those folks want to work with him, and They get certifications to be in the medical industry. So that's good wages, especially in California as minimum wage goes up here. So give us a call again. Putting people together. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
And then obviously, that our friends over at Geneva Financial love our Patriots. Our team is the number one team with Homes for Heroes. So get a job, get a home, and we got all kinds of discounts for that as well. But go out there and see how you can help the Nation of Patriots. Again, we just put, I think Josh put their website on the screen, nationofpatriots.org, nationofpatriots.org. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests or to go visit Nation of Patriots, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
By the hour and older by the minute. My boss just pushed me over.